type in and say hello. So today is going to be all about how do you get other people to promote you. So I'm going to walk you through step by step, and to do that I have got, fingers crossed, a clever way of being able to present to you. So this is one of the things that I had problems with this morning. Let's see how it goes. Yes, it's gonna work. Let's see how we go. Okay, so what I have here is I'm going to be actually, instead of having all of these slides prepared for you, which can be kind of like death by PowerPoint, is I'm going to walk you through and actually explain things drawing as I go. So what we're going to be talking about today is powerful partnerships, and the what we have here is really when it comes down to powerful partnerships, like what does that matter? Well, for you, it comes down to this. We're going to make it so that we get other people promoting you. Now, this is really, really important if you're starting out and you don't have a list, you don't have influential friends in your business that are going to go and do you the favors. You know, this is for you, because I'm going to show you strategically how you make this work. So let's get started, baby. All right. So when it comes to partnerships, so first of all, let's have a look at really this whole thing. If we're talking about how does this actually help you to get other people to promote you, what is the reason for that? Well, the reason for that is we have beautiful you over here, this star. And what you're doing is, what you really want to do is you want to get some clients. Really, that's the whole idea. That's what we're talking about today. How do you get new clients? How do you get people to find you? That is the whole idea of everything that we're going to be doing right now. Whoa! Drop my pencil. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about how do you get clients. Now, what I find is this is especially if, you know, when you're trying to find new clients for your business, this is especially so for people who have started up, or you may have been going a while, but you're always struggling to find clients. But I tell you what, this is also relevant for you if you have been going for years and years and years. Now, if you're like a lot of the people I know, these are some of the things that you may have tried, and really it hasn't worked for you. A really common one is trying Facebook ads. Now, I've talked to quite a lot of people who use Facebook ads and then have just been so disappointed in them because they've gone, look, I spent a fortune on it. It was really complicated. I tried to do it myself. I couldn't work it out. I paid somebody else to do that for me. And, you know, I just didn't get any results for it. There's a lot of reasons for that. And the main reason for that is you did not have everything else. All of the things that need to be set up in your business, they weren't set up, because Facebook ads, all they do is they scale something that's working, but they'll also scale something that's not working. So that's why you can lose a lot of money if that's what you're starting to do soon. And I get it. You know, I've tried to do that as well. Go, yep, Facebook ads, everybody's doing that. That's where the results are. Keep that in mind. If things aren't already working really perfectly, it's only going to be shining a light and costing you money to do the same thing. Other things that you may have tried, and I've had a few people saying this, you know, who are just with startups, who spent about $8,000 on LinkedIn outsourcing. Now, the thing is, I'm just using this as one example because a few people have talked to me about this week that they were saying, look, the program was awesome. You know, it cost me $8,000. They were really, really good. They get the results. But the problem was I could not. There was so much involved in doing this. Like, I really needed a whole team. And when I did find people, I didn't really have the things set up to be able to sell. So a great program, but not for you if you haven't already got those runs on the board. So that was another great way to really lose a lot of time. The other thing that you might be doing is going into Facebook groups and you might be feeling a bit spammy. Or you're thinking, I'm posting and giving really good value, but nothing's coming from it. We'll go into that. The other thing is you might be trying, you'll be trying Facebook. And then you might try using something like, you'll use Instagram. And then you might try YouTube. And then you'll try all these different ones, putting in a lot of work, but you're not getting the clients from it. So if that sounds like you, whether you're here live, whether you're here watching the recording, just type in and just say, yeah, hands up, I get it. Because I would be very surprised if you are here building your business and you have not experienced things like this. I just want you to know that this is what normally happens. And this is where it gets really frustrating, because that's really, really common to be going down that track. I think practically every single one of us goes down that track to start with. And I tell you what, it is absolutely demoralizing, because let's have a look here. Like, this is actually, if we think about what does this actually look like. So for example, you've got this, you might relate to this one. This might be you. Julie's saying, the Facebook groups can feel a bit spammy. Absolutely. I'm going to show you today like what you can be doing, so it's not going to be spammy. And Julie, you're going to love it, because we're going to be doing some extra training on this in the Attract Your Tribe program. Now, this is a really common thing, is if you're doing this, you're probably feeling a bit of this. Like this here is me attempting to do a quick drawing. It's a bit like being like the hamster wheel, where your legs are just going flat out and you're always going and you can't get off it, because if you stop trying to be really, really active in what you're doing, you're not going to get the clients. A sense of panic can come in. The other thing is, you might relate to this one, is you might feel a little bit like, you're the blowy in the bottle. Now, and you're kind of going, pking, 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 like when you got a blowfly in a bottle and they just keep on bouncing and bouncing and bouncing around on the wall, in your bedroom. You can be feeling like that too, like you're going flat out and you're always going from one thing to the next thing, and it gets really exhausting. And the thing that comes from this is, the next thing that's going to happen is, and this will, if you're feeling this way, just know this is really normal, is you're going to be starting to feel like, why am I bothering? Like, really, why am I bothering? Like, I must be an awful business person. I just having the wrong niche, or it's the technology that's stopping me. You start really, really doubting yourself. But the thing is, if you started your business because you have got the skills to be able to help other people, that you have got an impact to make, well, what a loss if you if you lose that confidence and that belief that you can actually do it. And, really what then, this is the result, is it is like, let me see if I can do this one. This is me having fun with these. It's just heartbreak, so it's exhausting. So what we're going to be covering today is I'm going to be showing you the alternative. So I'm going to show for you, this is what has worked for me. This is how I grew my entire business. And this is what is working, especially with the clients that I'm working with at a close level. This is how we are getting results. This is how I built my whole business without having to spend all this money on advertising, on how to be able to get these results with, that's not just having to do something once and then if I stop doing it, it's going to stop working, because it's something that I've done that keeps on working for me for years and years and years. And it's something that I've been doing with my clients. That means that they may have come to me for online stuff, but we actually can get their whole business. So they're making 5-6 figures. They start making their 5 figures a month, and they're making their 6 figures. And we haven't even got around to doing all the online stuff yet, because this method works for offline and for online. So I'm going to show you what we do there. So this is what we're going to do today. We're going to be talking about, oh, let me see if I've got this here. Okay. What we're going to be talking about here is we have got in this little thing here, these are tribes. Because I talk about attract your tribe. We've got tribe 1, which is those beautiful, perfect clients that just flock to you, build around your business, you build a community. They're the ones that you work with and they get attracted to you. We're going to be talking about the second tribe. The second tribe are those people who you create this tribe that are attracted to you, that are part of your tribe, that then enthusiastically promote you. So we're going to talk about that. We're really going to look down into the second tribe concept. And then what we're going to be doing is, as I walk you through that, is we're going to be looking at, first of all, we're going to look at what that tribe looks like. I'm going to show you the big mistakes, really common mistakes that you may very well be making and that people make all the time. When it comes to building that tribe and to creating those relationships that are those connections that make other people actually want to promote you and bring you clients. We're going to look at those mistakes. We're going to look at the concepts of power and passion. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you examples so you can see this is how I can make it work. So I'm not just going to give you the concepts. I'm going to show you what you can go and implement now in your business that uses this. And then I'm also going to show you what you need to make it work. Because this is where I see that can be really heartbreaking if you start applying these strategies, but you haven't got some core things in place, because you can be doing that work and not getting the results. Okay. And also, when you're doing it, you could actually be doing more damage than good. So I'm going to walk you through that because I do not want that happening to you. So again, I would love it if you can just give me a thumbs up, a hi, let me know that you are there. I know that there's people have been sent links, but anyway, technology has been my challenge today, but we're going cool now. Hey, rightio. Just so you, so let's now, first of all, we're just going to go into, I want to talk to you about the power and the passion. Okay, so, and let me know if this, I'm really curious to know if this method of actually drawing as I'm going through rather than using all the PowerPoint slides, if this works for you. I'd love to know. We're going to talk about power and passion. So let's have a look at that. So if we've got here power and the passion, because honestly, this is absolutely core to everything that we do. If we have a look here, the very first one, let's first of all we're going to talk about passion, and then the rest of our talk is going to be about power. So here, if we think about passion, so what do I mean by this? Well, and I'll show you, and I'll give you an example of exactly how this worked for me. So when we're talking about the passion, this is what you need to get super duper clear on why you are doing what you do. Like, what is your mission? Why? Like this why? Like, why are you doing it? You need to be tapped right into that for the strategy to work where you're using powerful partnerships, because this is the deciding factor. You need to be clear on why this business, why this group of people, why me? These things are absolutely essential. And I'll show you how it was that I realized that this was so important. Well, it wasn't my second or third business. The business that I ran that took off, once I had my first few businesses of working super duper hard, learning the hard way, the business that took off was Wonderful Web Women. Now, if you've been part of my tribe for a little while, you'll know about Wonderful Web Women. So Wonderful Web Women, it started as a quest for me to be able to find the most successful women in the world and to interview them, and how did they build their businesses online. So the most successful online business owners who are women. And so we're going back about 12 years, 12, 13 years when I started this. So we're going back quite a long way. That business, I had women from all around the world. And these were the people who were really, really leading it at that time. Because 12 years ago, it was like, now there are some amazing women doing amazing things. There are lots of communities that you can go to that are run by women for women. 12 years ago, 15 years ago, that wasn't there. It was not there. There was also no Facebook. You weren't using video. Like, to be able to stream a video was really, really hard. So when I was interviewing these women, it was being done by audio, but it wasn't like podcasts. I couldn't record it before and then live stream it. No, I either had to do it live or I had to pre-record. I could not have that engagement. So it was nothing like we've got now. So for me to be able to contact these women, I had to very strategically use connections, use relationships, use a system that for me came naturally. And it wasn't until afterwards that people were asking me, how did you do this? That I realized, oh, this is not something that comes natural for people. Let me see if I can work out how I did this and teach it to you, which is what I did. And so I ended up having so many businesses start using this method. Now, the thing that I found with every single one of these women who I contacted using very strategic methods is I ended up with about a 95% yes rate. Now, I was nobody. I had no mailing list at all. Nobody knew who I was. I was one of those women who was always stalking at the back of internet marketing conferences, taking notes, trying to talk to people, trying to work out what it is that was going to work for me this time. So how did I get the most successful women in the world to not only be interviewed, but to promote me and to build my list to thousands with just in a few short weeks and replace my previous year's income? That was using these strategic partnerships. Now, one of the things when I asked them, when I approached them using a very strategic way, is when they came back to me, they said, look, this is, not normally something I would say yes to, but your passion struck me. How could I say no for someone who was so passionate about what they were doing? So that was the big thing. And the reason is people who have got to the top of their game, the people who you really would absolutely love for them to be promoting you, for you to be involved in things with them, they get there because they are passionate, because things go wrong, like all your bloody technology going wrong in the morning when you want to run one of these, it's the passion that keeps people driving. So I really mention this passion, and to be with that passion, for that to work, you need to be super clear, not just on why you are the right person to be doing this. You need to be super clear on exactly who it is you help and why you really want to help them and how you do it. Because if you're not, it's really, really difficult for people to be able to recognize that passion that you have. Okay, if at any time you've got any questions, just type them in. I can see here live. It's I'm kind of talking to crickets, but that is okay, because I shall be sending out this recording to everybody on my list, and so that people can get to watch this. So if you're watching this as a recording, please interact, because I will get a notification and I'll come back. So if you've got questions at all, let me know. Now, what we're going to do is, that was talking about the power and the passion, okay? That was the passion piece. Now, we're going to talk about power. So first of all, what I would love to hear from you is share down below, like, what is it that you are passionate about? Like, who is it that you help and why? Why have you chosen, out of all the different businesses, all the different niches, all the different sorts of people, why have you chosen to help that group of people? And why have you chosen to get the kind of results in the way that you do? I'd love you to share that down below, because you're somebody who is going to be perhaps your perfect second tribe. That person that could be promoting you, partnering with you, could be watching, okay? And also there could be your ideal client could be watching. So please just share down below. I'd love to hear, like, what is your passion? Okay. 17 products from one interview. Oh, is that what you can remember, Julie? Or that's what you do? That's what can you just, I just missed that little bit because it just came up. I had a notification going over the top of it. Awesome. Okay. Let me now continue. Right. So now next bit, we're going to talk now about power. Like, how does the power work? So let's do it in this way. I want you to think about the relationship when it comes to somebody who can be promoting you, somebody who is already got your target market, somebody who already has a beautiful database, whether it's a following on social media, whether it is an email list, whether it's even offline. If they have got your absolutely perfect customer and they're already communicating with them, what we're going to look here is how, in order for you to be able to create these connections where they're going to enthusiastically promote you, you need to be aware of who's got the power in the relationship. And you also need to know, how can you change that power? How can you close the gap when it comes to this power imbalance? This is a way that I haven't seen other people talk about when it comes to looking at forming any kind of connections and strategic alliances, joint ventures, however you want to think about it. I haven't seen other people talk about it in this way, but you watch it, it's going to make perfectly good sense. We're talking here about power. Now, I want you to keep in mind, when I started out, I was right down here at this level here, okay? So let's just assume that's where you are, okay? You may very well not be. You may be much further along. This might be you. And up this end here, you've got this person who has got your tribe, the people who you want. Now, what you need to know is the person who has the most power in the relationship is the person with the tribe. The person who has got people who can purchase from you is the person who's got the most power in the relationship. Now, a lot of times this is a big mistake that I see people make, is they think that because they've got an awesome product, an awesome service for people, that they have got a lot of power in the relationship. But I can tell you now, it doesn't matter how awesome it is, the stuff, whatever you are putting out there, if the other person is the one that has got the power to be able to send an email or to put a post and people will then take action, that is the person with all the power in the relationship. So when I started Wonderful Web Women, I was going to people who were the leaders in their area. These were people who had a huge following, great databases, and a lot of trust. They had a lot of power in that relationship. So what I want you to let you know now, it's easier now. Now you can send people a direct message through Facebook. You can be sending them a video to contact. No. I had to hang out in the women's loos at events trying to make contacts, step by step, finding people who knew somebody else. I'll go into that more. I don't want to talk at all about what happened, how I did it all that time ago. I want to talk about what you can do now. Okay. So let's have a look at the steps that you need to take in place so that you can increase where you land on here. So we're going to say that you're starting here right at the bottom. Okay. So I'm curious to know, like, if we had this, say, on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you put yourself now? If you're down there at a 1, it means that really you don't have a database. You don't have a list of customers. You may have people who are following you on social media, but are they people who are buyers? This is the thing for you to ask yourself. So if you're going, oh, I think I'm down here, right down here at, we're not going to call it 0. Let's give it a 1. That's okay. You got to start somewhere, okay? So, and if you're up there in the 10, well, that's going to be, you know what, I've got a huge following. People are coming to me all of the time. I have got more opportunities given to me than I could possibly take. I say no a lot. And then, you know, if you've got there in the middle, it may be that you've got, so you're saying you've got less than 1,000 followers on Facebook, LinkedIn, and data. You know, actually the size it's not so much size, it's to do with how responsive, how much are they going to buy? How much are they your most profitable avatar? That can make a difference. I've got a friend who made $1 million from a list of less than 1,000 because they were incredibly they needed exactly what she had. So just so that you know, sizes and everything, not overly responsive. Yeah. So hopefully, Julie, you keep on going through the program. This is clear where you're going to get on this stuff. We're going to talk into that. So absolutely, we're going to get you higher, baby. So I'd really love, you know, everybody that's here, just share here, because this is there's going to be some people that are looking at you, Julie, and going, oh my God, I'd love to have 1,000 people. So, you know, it's all a matter of, it's all relative. Okay, now let's have a look at the steps that you can take. Right. First thing that's going to get you higher to start with is you've got to do your research, okay? Now, what do I mean by that? You need to be super clear on actually who is out there. Now, when we're doing this, you need to actually be quite strategic about the way that you're doing it. So I will be sharing this week, just so Julie's here, who's part of our Attract Your Tribe program. All September, I'm creating all new training that is all about using joint ventures and using these relationships for the second tribe to build your business. Now, one of those things is when you're doing your research, I've got a really useful Google spreadsheet that you can use to track, because you're not just going, oh, who's out there? There's very strategic things that you're looking at. You want to know, like, who is their type, who's their perfect avatar, because there's no use going for somebody who you think, oh, they're really, really cool in my industry, or they could be good. But if they don't actually have the same avatar, so this is the thing, they have got the same people that you want, well, they're not necessarily going to be a joint venture partner. They're not going to be the right person. So you want to give them a rating on how close you think they are. You want to know what sort of offers, what do they actually offer to people? Is it the same as you? If it's exactly the same sort of offer for the same problem, they're not a potential partner. They're a competitor. That doesn't mean that you can't contact and keep in contact. Some of my best friends in business online are my competitors. And we just understand, look, the reason I love you so much is because you're passionate about the same thing as me, but we're competitors. We can't promote each other. We can still hang out and help each other though, support each other, cheer each other on. So you want to know where they are. Like, do they have a mailing list? What solution do they solve for your possible clients that is different to what you do? Okay, so are they looking after them before they would get to you, or after they've been to you, or is there one thing that they do that you just can't do? So, for example, I know heaps about creating websites, um, you know, but that's not something I do. So for me, having partners and things that can actually do all that stuff for people is perfect. So you've got to really understand. First of all, you've got to also not understand, keep a record. Like, how do they communicate? Do they have a mailing list? Get an estimate of how big their database and their influence, their following is. But you also want to know, like, what are their values? Because one of the reasons why I have been going for so long in business and have been successful with what I've done is I am really, really fussy about who I partner with. And it's not just if they tick all of those boxes. I need to know, have they got the same values as me? And I can tell you not. I can tell you, it doesn't take much on a Google search to see what comes to the top. Okay. So that's something that you absolutely need to do. Once you've got clear, that's actually moving you closer. Okay. Now, the next thing you want to do is, and this is where people go wrong, is a lot of times they will, here. Okay. A lot of the things that they will do wrong is they will try to just outreach to people straight off. So they'll go, okay, I've got this program I want to do. It's ready to go out. That's okay. I'm going to start outreaching to people to see if I can get somebody to work with me, to promote me. No, you have to start building that connection quite early. And this can start even if when you're first starting out, but you haven't actually worked out exactly what you offer. And you're not ready to be promoted. You need to start building those connections, and you need to get in people's minds. Now, a really simple way to do that is get on their list, have a look at what their content is, and start actually doing something like sharing it or leaving a comment, replying to their emails and this is an important thing, is you don't want to start replying with things like, oh my God, you're so fantastic. One day I want to grow up and be like you. There is nothing worse. That does not position you as somebody who is worth them even thinking about partnering with, because you're putting yourself down there in the fangirl zone. You want to start building a connection. So think of all the different ways that they communicate and start connecting. Leave them reviews for their podcasts. So the way that you make that higher, you need to know, what do they want? Okay. So once you start doing these connections in a way that is helping them with exactly what they want, this is where it works well. It's going to be every single person is wanting new clients. So if you can refer people to them that you know that they're going to be great, that is a perfect way to do it. Give before you ask to receive. Another way is if they're putting content out there, they want people to see it. So share their content, leave comments on their content. They want to be reinforcing that they are a leader in their area. So when you are leaving comments, when you are sharing, you want to be positioning them as they are a leader in what they're doing, but also you want to be having an intelligent dialogue. You want to be demonstrating that you are also a leader in the making, if not already a leader in what you do. So if you start giving those intelligent discussions and adding, not in a way of, oh, look, I know this. It's a way of, that is an awesome point you've made. This is why. You can see that difference there. That's going to be moving you up even higher. There's still quite a big gap, isn't there? Okay, so now this is where you really make the difference. You've got to be clear on what you bring. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about with what they want, and this ties in with what you bring, is one of the other things that they will want is they will want better, faster results for their clients. Because everybody knows that if you can get your clients better results, that grows your business. And also, you just want to get your clients better results, okay? That's why you're in business. That's why they are. That's why passion was number one. Now, for example, I've got one of the clients who I've worked with who works in a health field. We came to do online stuff. But the first thing we did is we looked at, okay, what's the solution that you can do? Right, you've got something unique. You've got a great way of getting help, getting a recovery faster for her particular market. So what we did is, okay, well, who's got your clients that would absolutely love to be able to get them a faster recovery? All right, that's going to be the specialists. It's going to be the GPs. All right, so these are your partners. What can we be doing to start getting better results? How can we start building those relationships with them? So because she had something unique, we were able to create a strategic way that she was working to communicate and build those relationships so that they could see what it was that she was bringing to the table. So, and I've actually got another client at the moment in quite a similar niche, interestingly, who has a really unique way that she gets results with similar target market. In fact, the two people have ended up helping each other, but a completely different field that she focuses on. So we've actually been able to work out, okay, who are these people that you're going to go to that you can demonstrate? How are we going to demonstrate that what you've got, there's nobody else out there doing that? So again, we've been able to just focus on, right, how are we going to get that 5-figure month, then multi-5 figure month? How are we going to get up to 6 figures just using that? And it's been working. So again, if you've got something that that they want to get results and there is nobody that's doing that at the moment, that is a huge advantage you've got. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to have a look to see what you bring to the party that is now going to fill in this section here, because we've still got a long way to go, okay? So any questions that you've got, please just put them in there. And thanks, Julie, for sticking with me, girlfriend. People will be looking in the wrong spot. That was just technology, unfortunately. All right, now let's have a look at what you can be doing that is going to go the wrong. How are we going to make it so that you can close that gap in the power so that you can getting other people to promote you? So let's put this back up here again. So I'm going to show you a few things that you can be doing, and we're going to be making it from the lowest level, getting where you can be getting some interaction that's happening right from the very beginning when you don't really have a lot of relationship, you don't have a lot that you're bringing yet, up to the area where it's you're going to be really be able to form closer relationships. So the easiest way for me to do this is to run you through them. And just so Julie, because Julie, you're in the Attract to Tribe program, for anybody else that is here, just so that you know, September is the month where I am putting together all this new training that is going to be going into the Attract Your Tribe program. So the things that I'm talking about here, I've done all of these things. I'm going to be putting those into the program, not just, here's an idea. I'll put there some checklists and instructions on how to do it. Okay. So all right, now, first of all, let's just keep it super duper simple. To start off with, let's see how we can get their attention, but in a way that is involving them. So here is one really good way. If they've written a book, for example, and this is somebody whose attention you want to get, just say that they've written a book or some article or whatever. One thing that you can be doing is you can do a review. So you might write it as an article. You might record it as a video. You might do that on whatever mechanism you've got. If you don't have a website or anything yet, it doesn't matter. We've got everything here on social media. So you might do something on Facebook where you're going to do a review of what did I love about this book, photo of you holding the book, tagging the person in it. If you do not just, oh my God, I loved this, but if you can talk about action that you took from reading that book and what's changed, or ideas on other people to implement, that's demonstrating your expertise. But it's also the kind of thing that they are then likely to retweet, to share again, perhaps even put it on their blog. So do it that's a really simple way for you to do it, okay? Where, again, this is just a way of you getting their attention, but also if you do it well enough, they are then going to share it, and then that is going to make it so that they're actually going to be sending some of their eyeballs to you. So if you do have a website and a blog, do it on your blog. Okay, and then you can be sharing it to those other places. You can send them an email saying, hey, I've just done this review. I'm so grateful for your book, or whatever it was that they've got. That's just an example, one thing that you can do. You can even just start off things like leaving reviews for their podcast. A lot of times they will do a shout out to you. And they'll take screen grabs of it, and then they will use it in all of their marketing. Think about what they want. They want more eyeballs to demonstrate that they know what they're doing. That's how you can show. That's moving you up. Now, let's look at another one. You can do it could be a blog post, YouTube, it could be social media posts, whatever it is, whatever your easiest mechanism is you can do like a best of. So you might do something like, well, I'll talk about you, Julie, because you're working with people who, Julie, check out Julie. She's got some fantastic ways that she works with people, really, really unique to help people to create their own panel, their own TV show that they can be using for all of their marketing, where they are the expert and they are creating it by creating panels of experts. This is right up your alley. Julie, you are a natural for doing this stuff because you're already doing it. So just say for you, it might be, the 10 best, you might be doing something that, the 10 best people on whatever the topic is that you're doing your panel on, for example. Or it might be the 10 best bloggers, the 10 best coaches, or you might be doing it on, the 10 best people, 10 people who use video in the most unique way. So what you're doing is you're profiling them, but you're actually showing, hey, they are like the top of the game here, by positioning them with people who they are proud to be positioned with. And by you actually doing that, putting links back to their website, then you let them know. Okay, then if they think this is awesome, they will start sharing that, but it will be going back to wherever you are using as your base, whether it's your blog, whether it's your social media. So they're promoting you without even you saying, can you promote me? Okay, you can be saying, if you really like this, I'd love it if you'd share it with other people. Otherwise, I'm just really grateful I wanted to send this to you. Okay, that's another one. Another one that you could be doing is you can be doing a collaborative book. I've done a lot of these. Just so you know, they are a bit of work. I've done I've got one there that you can get on my website, Romance Your Tribe, The Power of 100. I had 100 women sharing a chapter each on how they stay focused on their dreams. Now, I had a lot of those were clients, but I also had a lot of those were people who I totally respect in my field, people who I wanted to build a connection with. They got to have a published book. I've actually produced 5 of those. The most recent actually came, Julie, you've done that with 21 authors. If you were the author, if you were the person who actually collated all of that, you are the one that is going to have that most powerful relationship. But be aware it's a lot of work. Most recent one I've done, you can find that at Video Marketing Summit 2021, whereas I had 25 experts in all different areas of video sharing their favorite tool and their number 1 tip for success, and compiled them all into a book, which I actually use as a lead magnet. All of those people, well, not all of them, most of those people shared and promoted. Yeah, but I just wanted you to say also, Julie, you've got those connections that you can be creating with all of those other authors. So even though you're not the person that put all of that work in, those other authors, you can be connecting with them, sharing. If there's people in there that you're thinking, I really want to build a connection with that person, you start sharing what you loved about their chapter. Okay. So simple things that you do. So a collaborative book is another way to do it. Then another big way is a summit. Now, what I want you to recognize with these is the one there on the very left, the one that's closest down to the 0, that's not a lot of effort, okay? So that's fantastic. You can do that as low effort, but you're not going to be up to the point where they're going, oh my God, this person is the most amazing. You've got to see them. So what you've got to do to try to close that gap, when you've already worked out, okay, I might be up to about a 3 out of a 10 compared to them. I want to close that gap as much as I can. The way that you do that is creating opportunities that mean that it's a shitload of work for you. Okay, so a collaborative book is a lot of work, but it means that you are the person that they recognize that brought them the opportunity for the visibility. You have to demonstrate to them that you are exceptionally professional and will do a good job. Otherwise, they won't take part anyway. Same with the summit. You need to demonstrate that you have totally sussed out the whole marketing strategy. You're very professional. You will demonstrate them in good light. That is a hell of a lot of work. I did one at the end of last year, Video Marketing Summit. A hell of a lot of work. It's my thing that I am passionate about anyway, which is interviewing people. But that means that I've now got closer relationships with every single person there who I interviewed. So that there is another way. That's how I launched Wonderful Web Women. It was the precursor to summits. Is back when nobody was doing them and they were done by audio. Okay, now the next one that you can do, and this is one actually that we will be going into more depth in the Training with Your Attract Tribe program, is for you to be a guest on their podcast. Now, for you to do that, you need to make sure that you have got something unique that they're not covering elsewhere, a unique angle, a unique way of helping their clients. So we'll go into a lot of detail on that, just so that you know if you're one of the people in the program. If you're not in the program, just send me a message saying Second Tribe. If you say Second Tribe, that means, that's my way of talking about the joint ventures, and I will show you how you can join us. Now, with a guest podcast, that's an awesome way because they promote their podcast. So you're actually getting in front of their audience and they get to hear you, have a conversation, see that you and the person who's interviewing you are seen as equals because you're having a conversation. And when you're doing it correctly, when you've designed the way that you're talking correctly, people will come to you. You will create leads. So that is actually a great way. So on all these ones, you have never gone to anybody and said, I really, really want to grow my list. Can you promote me? And yet in all of these ways, they are promoting you. So it's just a way of thinking about what helps them first. Okay. Even better if you can have featured content. One of the clients that I'm working with at the moment at the accelerator level is now creating her presentation that she puts together. So she's actually, instead of just, people saying, this is a great person to get to know, she's actually their guest expert in their programs for their paid clients. That's a next level. If you get in front of people's paid clients, you know that they are the people in amongst their tribe that are actually investing in their progress. So that's the next level where you're the featured guest. And then the last one is then you'll get to the point where you can say, hey, promote me. I have quite a few people now at that level. That's something that I can do now that I've been able to do for years. I've got people that I can say, hey, I've got this thing happening. Do you think this is going to help you? I'd love you for you to be able to promote. What do you want? What's in it for you? There's lots of different ways, but the relationship is there. And I've been able to move myself from down there to the 0 up to a 9 or 10, depending on who I'm talking to. Okay. The important point here is there are some things that you need to have in place to make sure it's going to work. Okay. All right. So we're getting right near the end. And yeah, I hope that this is helping you so far. If you're here on the podcast, type in, say hello. I'd really, really appreciate it. If you're not podcast, it's because I just talked about podcasts. If you're here, type in, say hello. Any questions? Just say yes. I'm really curious if any of the things that I've talked about, like out of those ones that I've mentioned so far, like which is one that you're thinking, yeah, I could do that now. And which is one that you're thinking, I so want that. Julie, you're actually doing a lot of this at the moment because you're actually creating these panels of experts. So I know that you will be able to take what I'm going to be teaching you this month in the Attract Your Tribe Academy, and you will be able to run with it. This is going to really help to explode your business, doing it in a much more strategic way. Okay, now let's have a look at the next part. All right, what do you need to succeed at this? All right, so how to succeed with the second tribe. Okay, from what you've gathered, you should have gathered from what I've been talking about here, there's some things that you really need to have in place to make it so that this is really going to be successful for you. Okay, so the very first thing you're going to need, you need to know exceptionally clearly who is your most profitable avatar. Okay. If you're not clear on that, it's very, very difficult for you to be able to work out who is the perfect joint venture partner, who is the perfect person for you to be creating your second tribe. Otherwise, you'll end up with a second tribe that's going to be too blurry. And the same as it will happen, you're not going to end up with the perfect tribe of potential clients because it's been coming from a murky pool. Does that make sense? So you need to be super duper clear. You also need to be really, really clear on your transformational promise. So by that, you need to be super clear on what's the problem you solve, and not just what's the problem you solve, very clearly that you can say in just a couple of sentences how you solve it. Like, what is it? If people work with you, what's the outcome that they are going to get? What's the promise that you can say to them? You need to be super duper clear on that because you need to be able to communicate that with people. And you also need that to be able to be really clear on what, looking for the gaps that people have got when you're looking at your second tribe. It's going to be extra, really, really important for when you're working out about what you can be giving to them. Okay, so, and it's also, it helps you to work out if somebody's a competitor, because a lot of times I will see people that go down this track, they make a lot of mistakes because they think that they're actually working as a JV, but they're confusing their potential audience because what they're trying to do is they're promoting somebody, they're doing all these things to shine the light on somebody who's a competitor. And so it doesn't work. It confuses people. So you need to be super clear on that. You need to be really clear on the transformational journey that your clients go on. Because you don't necessarily have to be part of their journey for the whole lot. You don't have to be the person that provides the whole solution. But if you know what sorts of problems they're having to solve before they get to you, and what sorts of problems that you get them to the point where, okay, I don't solve that problem now, they need to go to somebody else. You need to be super clear on their whole journey, because you're looking for people who are either getting them after you, or even better, people who've got them before you and getting them to the point where they need you. You need to be clear, really understanding the transformational journey. And then you also need to know, okay, what's the action? What have you got in place? So when people say, okay, you do get some attention that's sent to you, whether it's because somebody's gone, oh, that was such an awesome book review. Look at how good my book is. This person here took action and got this result. So that from that, or right through to, I've just interviewed this person on a podcast, a legend. What's the step that you want this beautiful audience to take? So, do you know what have you got for your list building that they are going to absolutely love? Do you know what your offer is? So that, to start with, doesn't mean that you can't start doing this, start doing things that are going to get attention, start building your tribe. But for you to be able to make the most of it as you get closer and closer to that top level in the power line, you need to be really, really clear on these things. And you need a strategic plan. Okay? So these are the things that you absolutely must have in place to do that. Now, with what I've been talking about, you may very well find this, hopefully this has given you some stuff that you can go and take some action like now, okay? You could choose one of these things that I've given you, and hopefully your understanding on the steps that are necessary in order to make this work well is you can go and do them. But one thing I want you to be super duper careful is there is with your second tribe, no, I'm not doing my favorite one here. With your second tribe here, is there is a very good chance that if you do this incorrectly, okay, if you do this in a way that you're not even aware of, that's the thing, is you may not really even realize that you can be totally bombing out. You can be kind of getting the whole, don't come near me, and you don't even realize it because you're not going to hear it from them. You're not going to be approaching somebody and then going, look, you're just too desperate. You're too pushy, or you're acting all entitled, or hello, you just want to pimp my list. They're not normally going to come back and say that unless they're having a really bad day. They just either won't reply or engage with you, or they'll just put you off politely. But normally, if you've done that, if you do it wrong, you may get another chance, but that's only if you start doing it really, really well and you're going back a few steps. You will have actually moved yourself backwards in that power balance. So there is a risk there. Like if you're not doing it properly, you won't know. So just be really, really careful, because depending on what stage you're at, there's a strategy for each stage on how you approach it. So what we'll be doing this month in the Attract Your Tribe Academy is we'll have the overview of the whole the partnerships work. But then what we're going to be doing is at each stage, each of the milestones that you work through on your way to really setting it up so that you do attract your tribe, these are things that you can be doing now. Okay, at this step. So even if you haven't even worked out what your offer is and your list builder, there are things that you can be doing straight off. But if you try to go and do the thing that's the next level up too early, you're probably going to bomb out. Okay, so I want to make sure that you know what's right to do at each stage. So we'll be covering that as well. So if you want some help, if you're not part of the academy yet, well, crazy you, I'm actually doing. It will be Academy 2.0, actually, that I'm putting together at the moment. I've been doing interviews with clients, potential clients, just doing a review at the moment of my programs and my marketing. And I've been walking my talk, doing exactly what I get my clients to do. So I've been doing a whole series of like 20, 30-minute interviews, just really getting to understand people and also asking them, like, what do they see as my strengths? And it's been really interesting that one of the things that I haven't necessarily been doing as much before is really all those strategies to do with using relationships, creating that second tribe, how to use that strategically in business, because it's exactly what I do with my accelerator clients. It's how they all get results. Now I'm moving this over so that the Academy 2.0 is going to be having about working with partners, joint ventures, relationships right from the very beginning. So we're bringing that level in so that you'll have this unique way of doing business that has worked for me, has been working for my higher clients, and that will be working so much easier for you. So this is how you can get my help. If you're not part of the Academy yet, what the best way for you to do is either send me an email or send me a private message, or even just comment down below. This is probably the best thing to do. Just send me something. If you're leaving a comment down below, just write Second Tribe and I'll message you and just find out a little bit about what you're doing in business so I can make the best recommendation to you, if it's going to be the Academy or the Accelerator, or if I don't think either is right for you, I'll let you know as well. So just send me with Second Tribe, and just so that you know, we're going to be, as well as doing all that training, with me with training, it's not going to be adding longer and longer and longer hours worth of stuff. You're going to be you'll get scripts, cheat sheets, and that spreadsheet that I was talking about to put, to systemize the way that you're doing things. So that's what we'll be doing there in the Academy, the Attract Your Tribe. So if you'd like to know more about that, how I can help you and how you can be part of it, just put down Second Tribe down below, or send me a message, Second Tribe, and I'll make sure that you get to know all about it. So my challenge to you is share down below with me, like, what is one thing that you are going to do today or this week, okay, that's going to move you closer. So if we're looking here about the power dynamics, what's going to move you closer to this way? So I would really love to hear from you. What are you going to do today or this week? Put it down below so you will be held accountable. If you don't want to put it publicly, just send me a private message, send me an email at janet@romanceyourtribe.com, and I'll reply. I really, really want to hear what you're doing. And you can also, if you're in our free Facebook group, Romance Your Tribe Tribe, put there, what is the thing that you're going to be doing this week? We'll start that conversation there underneath the recording, which you can also get from that group as soon as I go off. Okay, thank you so much to Big Julie, who stayed here. We've also got some other people here who are watching but not commenting, that I can see anyway, and that's okay. But if you would like to, just any questions that you've got, send them through, and I really, really want to hear from you. And the nice part about what I've been talking about here is the relationships that just think of it as dating. Okay, you can't, if you go straight in with a whole, hey, how are you? You look really cute. Want to get married and have kids? Scary. Okay, but if you're approaching it in this way, which is the flirting, the courting, the romance, this is actually an effort that is going to be working for you in your business. I've still got these relationships that are working for me well over a decade later. Okay, so Julie's going, I'm going to start by posting and promoting my 10 best. Yeah, that's a great way. And doing some more reviews. Excellent. And just be very strategic that you're making sure that you're when you're doing those, that it's actually going to be building those relationships with the people who have got your tribe. Okay, you don't want to be doing all of this effort if they're not actually going to be the people who've already got your clients watching them. Okay, go get them. I shall stop sharing. Thank you to the gods of technology for allowing me it to work this time, even though they didn't want to help me the first time. So bye everybody.